Welcome back everybody to another episode of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Minimalist Run. And we have just completed all the major dungeons of the game, and now it's time to get back to the Temple of Time, which Raoul, at the beginning, I can't even pronounce that name, at the end of the last video, mentioned to us that, hey, you might want to go back to the Temple of Time because there's a special person waiting for you, or something to that nature. I wasn't really paying attention. So, we don't even walk through the door, we just teleport straight on in, and normally the song puts you back where the Master Sword is, that's where it teleports you to, but no, we're at the main entrance, for some reason. For cutscene purposes. So now we meet with Sheik one more time, our silent guardian and ever-watchful protector? I guess, not much. I guess they tried to protect us that one time with the Shadow Demon Bongo Bongo when he broke out of the well, so there's that. But here we get one last mythos story, if you will, in this game. So here she tells I think the hidden aspect of the Triforce, a little property that not a lot of people know. That if you were to touch the Triforce without a pure and whole heart, it splits into one of power, courage, and wisdom. And then, of course, you know, Ganondorf got the power, because that's what he sought. Where Link got the courage, so wisdom has to go somewhere else. Which I'm imagining is a very hard thing to do, to have wisdom, power, and courage all balanced in one's heart. That's an extremely hard thing to do. But there have been a few times in this series where actual people have touched the Triforce and have got all three aspects in balance and have been able to make their wish. Link, actually, in Link to the Past, was able to touch the Triforce and make his wish. If you don't remember that, watch the last episode of my Link to the Past playthrough. He actually walks up and touches the Triforce. There is another game later on in the series where another person touches the Triforce and he is pure of heart and has all three in balance. And he makes his wish. There have been precedents set in the series where there have been multiple characters who have touched the Triforce throughout the series and have not had it split on them like Ganondorf did. Now, this reveal is not so much a surprise these days, but here, when Ocarina of Time first came out in, what was it, the 1990s? It's been a while. During Christmas break, I got this, one of my Christmases. This shocked me. This was completely unexpected, because I seriously thought I took Sheik exactly at his word, at who he was, who he said he was. But this was a huge reveal that nobody saw coming, and nobody ruined it for anybody until, like, you know, years later after the game came out, then everybody knows the secret, especially when Smash Brothers came out and put Sheik and Zelda as one and the same character that you can swap back and forth. So Sheik is Zelda's alter ego. She's been hiding from Ganondorf for a long time under this guise, probably trained in the arts of the Sheikah by Impa herself. Now, I think she's got one more story to tell, but this one's a little more immediate rather than something done, you know, told about the mythos of the whole series. So yeah, she must be a very well-accomplished Sheikah apprentice if Impa is letting her wander about alone without her protector anymore. So she trained really well under Impa. But, like most decisions in this series, Zelda makes a mistake here. Zelda has revealed herself to Link, and as a result, she is now vulnerable and is now, if you will, in the sights of Sauron. If you count Ganondorf as Sauron. His eye is ever watchful, but is passing over Sheik because Sheik is just a nobody, a nothing. Why would Ganondorf be concerned about a Sheikah, especially one that's not the Sage of Shadow like Impa is? No. All of a sudden, Zelda reveals herself, and she's about to do a display of power, which draws the eye. Boom! Right to the Temple of Time. Just you watch. She might have been able to get out of this if she had transformed back to Sheik, but no, she's going to do a huge display of power here. Because she believes in the power of the hero, in the power of courage so much, she's willing to risk this to give Link what he needs to be Ganondorf. All the while, she's laying out the plan of what she wants for them to do to seal him away. Yep, here we go. She has to conjure up, I would imagine, quite a lot of spirit energy, power, magic, whatever you want to call it, to give Link these light arrows. So yes, he has the tool of Ganondorf's destruction, but unfortunately it comes at a cost. Because right away, immediately, Ganondorf has found her. Oh, yes it can, princess. And you're done. That was easy. Now, here's what I don't get. Why was she a traitor? Was she ever in league with Ganondorf to begin with to become a traitor? I never really got that. Because she's certainly not a traitor to her own country, that's for sure. She's trying to save it. She always has been. Now, if it was so easy to encase Zelda in a crystal like this and make her completely at his whim, what's to say Ganondorf couldn't have just done the same thing to Link right here and get rid of him just the same way, encase him, and then he'd have both of them in crystal. He apparently has the power to do it. He's sealed away the Triforce of Wisdom Bearer. Why can't he do the same with the Triforce of Courage Bearer? They both have pieces of the Triforce, and he was able to do this so easily to Zelda. Me thinks that Ganondorf is bored. He is done ruling over a dead world, country, whatever, with the Triforce of Power, and he wants a little entertainment. So he's letting this boy go, letting Link go, in hopes that at one point he's going to face him and fight him in Mortal Kombat and, in his eyes, kill Link. Because it's something new, something different than the holodrum of everyday life ruling over nothing. So I guess this is all just some big game to Ganondorf at this point, which is known as Ganon's Tower. Yay, rainbow colors! It's from the Rainbow Bridge, which is one of the most hated tracks in Mario Kart, let me tell you. Because, I mean, seriously, what is he ruling over? Nothing but a dead country. He has all the power in the world, but nothing and nobody to enjoy it with. Kind of lonely. Just keep on going. That is a very powerful force field. Okay, so each of these side areas, it's almost like a hub and spoke type level, as most Ganon's towers are in Zelda games, which is unfortunate. I think it really started with this game, Ocarina of Time, or if you really want to get technical, Link's Awakening, but the last dungeons have always been kind of lackluster in Zelda games, starting with the 3D games primarily. They've gotten better with that in later series, but in later entries in the series, but the trend for lackluster final dungeons started with this game primarily. But anyway, There's quite a few dungeons or quite a few small mini puzzles, if you will, that you have to solve, which correspond with the different dungeons you've been through in this game. This one, of course, representing the forest dungeon. And so the motif and the textures and the colors that you see, as well as some of the puzzles that you encounter, kind of reflect that. Except for this. This is kind of weird. This was a type of puzzle you never saw in the Forest Temple because, if you know some of the history behind this game, this was supposed to be the Forest Dungeon, there was supposed to be a Wind Dungeon, which later makes appearance in Wind Waker. But they canceled that and made it a Forest Dungeon instead. Which is fine, but they decided to carry over some of that original Wind Dungeon type of mentality, and I guess make a puzzle out of it in Ganon's Tower, which doesn't really fit the whole forest motif of the dungeon that this is based off of. Oh, there goes those bombs. This is me not knowing what to do. So me starting over again. So I have a hunch that there is a time block, a Song of Time block here that you can summon, which enables you to probably get enough push from the wind turbine here to get all the way across to where you need to be for that silver coin, provided I have the hover boots on. Haha, that didn't work. See, this is me not knowing what to do! I thought I had one problem solved, but in the end it just didn't seem to be enough. So at this point I'm just like, screw it, let's see if I can get the other ones and figure it out as I go. You know, it actually took me a second to figure out what I was looking at. Like, what camera angle was I in? That was actually kind of dangerous. You want to wait for the turbine to stop. Otherwise, you're not going to have a pretty trip here to get this coin right here. Alright, you have one last coin to get. And I think this is it for the forest one. Each spoke on the hub is not really long. They're all kind of short. Oh, oh, I forgot how many times I actually failed here. On the bright side, once you get all the coins, the silver rubies, you don't have to get them again. You're pretty much done after that point. Hover boots are nice and handy, but they're also dangerous at the same time, as you've been clearly demonstrated here in this small puzzle room. Okay, I didn't actually know that you needed to shoot these with light arrows. These little barrier things. Like, I actually had to look up to kind of figure out, oh yeah, you need to switch to the light arrows and shoot these things. It's not really clear. I mean, I guess looking back on it, I guess it does kind of make sense, because you just got these items. So it makes sense to use them right away to destroy these barriers, but there's nothing in this game that tells you that's exactly what you need to do. So as a result, I was stuck at the end of one of these spokes for a long time figuring out what to do. I think I actually had to look in the game guide that I got with it, or online or something, to kind of figure out, oh, shoot it with the light arrows. Got it. Alright, that's 1 of 6. 5 more to go. And this is why you need at least one bottle. Even if you never use it for potions, aka during a minimalist run, you still need it for the blue flame. And I think even in this game, I was not exactly sure if there was another location that I needed to use the blue flame or not, so I think I went back to go get another one. I mean, it couldn't hurt. Even if you never use it, you can just dump it and then save the bottle for something else later. So it's always good to be prepared. Because if it's one thing I hate, it's pointless backtracking. Backtracking is fine if it's got a point, but if it doesn't, then I just have problems. And this is me thinking to myself, I don't remember how to do this. Which one do I push in the center? Yeah, it's like I could push this one or I could push the other one. So which one do I push into the hole? Because whichever one I push, that's gonna dictate which ones I can actually, how I can successfully solve this puzzle. So I'm literally spending way too much time here trying to figure this out. So here I am, kind of surveying the lay of the land. And I finally make my choice. This is the block I'm going to push down into the center. It's a simple ice block puzzle, especially when compared to the one that's found in the ice cave near the Zora's domain. This is actually pretty simple, but it does require you to think at least for a couple seconds to figure out what it is you need to do. And sure enough, it was a good thing I was prepared, and I got the blue flame from the previous room, because there ain't any here. I mean, compared to the Forest Temple-ish one, that was actually kind of easy. And short. So with that, we're done with the water barrier. We're gonna move on to the next one, but first, a small little word of encouragement from Princess Rudo. Who would be Queen Rudo after this game, wouldn't she? So with that, this is the end of this particular video in terms of the time we have. So in the next one, we're going to try and remove the rest of the remaining 4 barrier walls and start heading up the tower to face Ganondorf. Till the next video, see y'all later.